today's episode of the Balancing Hormones Naturally podcast, where we offer actions and steps you can take today to start supporting and balancing your hormones. This is your podcast host, Leah. I am honored and excited to be your guide on your way to better understanding your hormone health and how it affects your everyday life. Hey ladies, so this is a training from the free Facebook group. If you're not in there, you should be in there, Balancing Hormones Naturally. You can search it. It's also linked in the show notes. But this was a highly requested video, so I thought that you all would enjoy it as well. And let me know your thoughts. I want to talk first about postmenopause. There's a couple different ways to become postmenopause. One is to naturally go through it, and one is to have a surgical menopause, which is a hysterectomy or a full hysterectomy. So you can have a partial hysterectomy where they just take your uterus, or a full hysterectomy where they take your uterus and your ovaries. Now, if you still have your ovaries, you will still have a cycle. You just won't have a bleed, right? So that's why you may still go through menopause if you've had a hysterectomy, if you still have your ovaries. Does that make sense? So that's fun. And then if you have a full hysterectomy and they take your ovaries and everything at one time, you go through surgical menopause overnight. And that is very, very tough to deal with. So anyways, kind of give you a little bit of background there, okay? So I know we talk a lot about cycles in here, and all my postmenopausal ladies probably feel a little bit left out. So I wanted to give you your own video because I love you. Okay? So whenever I talk about anything to do with periods and cycles in here, you can always do what I tell you. Just sync it with the moon. So if I'm talking about eating these types of foods during your period, you would do that during the new moon. Okay? So you're going to use the moon as kind of a barometer. Yes, you don't have a cycle anymore, but for a lot of us, it's very helpful to still have that fluctuation of foods, to be getting in that wide variety of nutrients and still focus on pulling out the excess estrogen, etc. So every time I talk about a period, you think new moon, I'm going to be doing this to the new moon, and then the waxing moon would be the start of follicular phase when I'm talking about that. Ovulation would be the full moon for you, and then the waning moon would be luteal phase. But I'm going to use the moon for you. I'm just going to talk about the moon. But first I want to talk about some common symptoms that we have postmenopausal, or actually going through menopause, so perimenopausal. And are you ready? So high estrogen symptoms are breast pain, heavy periods, fluid retention, crankiness, irritability, and then low estrogen is night sweats, depression, heart palpitations, and hot flashes a lot of times. So the fun part, or not so fun part, about postmenopause is the roller coaster of estrogen. That is what makes you just want to lose your mind, is the roller coaster of estrogen, right? So what do you do? And then a lot of times you feel like no matter what you do, you're cranky and you can't lose weight. Those are like two of the primary things I hear all the time. And then of course you want to focus on your bone density, and keeping that estrogen at bay, right? So we all know that I'm not really a big fan of progesterone cream. You hear me bash it all the time. So I'm going to give you other options. I'm not going to just leave you hanging, right? But let's talk for a second about progesterone postmenopausal. So you know that you create your progesterone by ovulating, right? So if you aren't ovulating, or ovulation is becoming irregular for you because you're going through menopause, how do you create your progesterone? It's through your adrenals. Your adrenals are taking over that progesterone for you. So Let me know if this sounds familiar. You are go, go, go. You're taking care of your kids. You're taking care of grandkids. You're doing this. You're doing that. You never take any time for yourself. You're busy, 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 busy. And your adrenals are just pooped. How are they supposed to put out more progesterone for you? And you want your ratio of progesterone to estrogen to be a 30-1. So progesterone's 30-1 of estrogen. That's going to help protect you. You know, estrogen does drive a lot of cancer, so we want to make sure that we're detoxing it correctly, right? So progesterone kind of keeps our estrogen in balance, for lack of a better word. So do you see the issue of why you're super stressed and then you aren't producing as much progesterone, and estrogen is basically just taking over your life, right? So let me know, does this sound familiar? Does this sound like you? I know a lot of other things that we'll see are like vaginal dryness, hair loss, insomnia, low libido. I see a lot of these. A lot of them are actually really driven by stress. I know, I talk about stress all of the time. So a couple things that we want to do. One, you want to focus on your gut health. Why? Because bad gut bacteria, unhealthy gut can actually cause estrogen dominance. Gut is out of balance, you produce more estrogen. So we want to pay attention to constipation and focusing on your liver and lowering your stress. So are you pooping every day? Are you pooping twice a day? Are you getting enough poop out? Literally. Are you having great bowel movements where you're just like, yep, I feel like I just emptied my intestines? You want to be getting those types of bowel movements, okay? You want to be having a minimum of 1, but I would love to be seeing 2 or 3. Okay, excuse me. You want to focus on your liver because your liver is what's filtering out excess hormones, aka that estrogen dominance. So I love liver tinctures. You can get like dandelion, milk thistle. You can do castor oil packs over your liver. You could do a castor oil pack and watch a movie and chill. And that would be a great way to relax. Or you could do it outside on the porch if it's nice and listen to the sun. So those are both some really great things that you can do for your liver and for your gut health. Okay, so your gut health, I love Megaspore probiotics. You hear me talk about them all the time. I also like CT Spore from Cellcore Probiotics. I basically just like Spore probiotics. I think they're great for helping repopulate that good bacteria and take care of that for you in here. That's really, really important. So your liver health, your gut health. Okay, and then let's talk about the thing that nobody wants to talk about, which is insulin. So a lot of times when you're older, you tend to carry weight around your stomach. This can have to do with estrogen dominance. It can also have to do with elevated cortisol because you're stressed too much. Also can have to do with insulin resistance. So it's kind of like you have a triple threat going on here. So it is so important that you keep your blood sugar balanced. And you see me say this all the time, but like, I'm grabbing a book in case you're wondering what I'm doing. Veggies, protein, fat, and carb, okay? Always plate your food to balance out your blood sugar. If you want some fruit, knock yourself out. Put it with some protein and fat. Have it with some nuts. Have it with a hard-boiled egg. Just don't be eating sweet potatoes till the cows come in, all right? Put it with a protein and a fat, okay? Get your veggies in, get your fiber in, make sure you're pooping. Fiber is so, so, so important, okay? I know that we're always looking for this new diet that's just gonna change our life, but in reality, you have a lot of the tools already in you. You just need to stay consistent, you know? You're not gonna be seeing 5 pounds of weight loss in 1 week. That's not consistency. That's not sustainable. That's just you dropping a lot of water weight, right? So if you're trying to lose weight, it's going to start with you balancing your blood sugar, supporting that gut and that liver health, okay? So you can support those hormones. There's a lot more to it, but those are your basics to start out with. So start with your blood sugar, okay? And then I would even seed cycle. I love seed cycling for my postmenopausal ladies. Such a great way to get different nutrients in, great way to get fiber in. So you would do pumpkin and flax with the new moon. Just pull up the calendar on your phone and be like, okay, I think the new moon's actually coming up. I think it's in 2 days or something. You would be doing 1 tablespoon of pumpkin and flax seeds a day. And then with the full moon, you'd switch to sesame and sunflower seeds. And that would be amazing for you to do. You can even start going into like food cycling. If all the ladies that I work with postmenopausal do that as well. Yeah, Sharon, I love seed cycling. It's so good. So let's talk about some supplements. Now, this is not medical advice, but I know for my ladies that are having night sweats, they're having like low energy, all this kind of stuff. You get really frustrated when you're like, what can I do, right? So this is not medical advice, but here are some supplements that can be helpful for you, okay? Well, first I'm going to tell you to reduce your alcohol or just get rid of it. That would be a good start. I'm so sorry. Rest. Actually rest, as in you're not doing anything for anybody else, you're just resting. Magnesium. 300 milligrams of magnesium glycinate with food is wonderful. Magnesium pairs really, really well with taurine. So taurine is an amino acid that helps calm your brain and stabilize your HPA axis. So your HPA axis is your hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal. Remember, what is producing your progesterone? Your adrenals. Okay? Hypothalamus, pituitary. So that's where taurine is helpful. You can take up to 3,000 milligrams per day with your magnesium. Yes, it totally is. I totally get that. Vitamin B6 is really, really helpful. You can be taking 20 to 150 milligrams per day. And the last one I'm going to talk about is ashwagandha. This is an adaptogen that's amazing for helping your stress response, right? So I feel like a lot I'm talking about is lower your stress, but it is really, really important. And then I would look into using those supplements. The magnesium with the taurine can be really, really great for that hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal axis. And vitamin B6 is just incredible all around. I would also do vitamin C, really high in your food, and then even supplementing with vitamin C is very helpful for helping increase your progesterone. So also good for your immune system. Don't get those like little packets. Those things are just full of so much crap. Just actually get actual vitamin C. So I would love for you to focus on your gut health. So like pay attention to what you're eating. Like, are you getting bloated? Are you getting tired after a meal? Okay, you might be eating something that you're sensitive to that's causing issues, okay? Lower your stress levels. Do something for you. Focus on your liver detoxification, okay? Castor oil packs, milk thistle, dandelion, lemon juice, dandelion greens, bitter herbs, all that kind of stuff is really good for your liver. I feel like I'm firing again. You can go back and listen, maybe take up some of the supplements that we talked about. I would do seed cycling. I would absolutely do seed cycling. I even have some of my postmenopausal ladies do like self-care cycling. So like every week of like for the full moon, you get every week when you're cycling with the moon, like is a phase of the moon. If that even makes sense. Like the new moon gets a week, the waxing moon gets a week, and you can focus on different activities that you can do during that time, even different like teas you can drink, just to like help find like a grounding like ritual basically for yourself. Because I just feel like we're just up and around and we're moving and we're going, and you just need to find ways to ground, find ways to de-stress, and just give your body the nutrients that it needs. When you're struggling to lose weight, it doesn't come back to like you're just, unless you are very much overeating, which I rarely see. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen it with one of my clients. Whenever they come to me, they are grossly under eating, and I have you eat more food to lose weight. I know, it blows everybody's mind. But you're so stressed. You're not giving your body the nutrients that it needs, because we are just so sucked into diet culture, which is eat less and work out more. And for a lot of these instances, that's not what you need to lose weight. That's not what you need to support your hot flashes. It's not what you need for the brain fog. In reality, you need to get the nutrients in that your body is craving. You need to support your adrenals. You need to support a healthy estrogen detox, okay? So I would absolutely start with seed cycling. I would start with balancing your blood sugar, and I would start a food journal. Like, why not like write down like how you feel after your meals and look at what you ate and be like, felt really good after that meal. Okay, maybe your body loves those foods, okay? That is a great way to start. It's a great way to start. I have no idea why I ended that so abruptly. Like, seriously, I don't. Sometimes I just wonder what on earth that I am thinking, because yeah, that was really, really abrupt. But if you enjoyed that, you got some good tips from it, I would love for you to share it with a friend. I'd love you to message me on Instagram. I love hearing from you guys. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Balancing Hormones Naturally. If you found this helpful, I would love for you to share it with a friend and post it on your stories and tag Balancing Hormones Naturally podcast so we can get this message out. You can find me on Instagram at Leah_BRUEG, and I would absolutely love to hear from you.